Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome to Truth Side of Context. I'm Quan.
I'm Clee.
I'm not King.
Now, unfortunately, our other two members of Truth Side of Context couldn't be here, but we're going to put their channel links in the description so you can check them out. But without further ado, let's get into these topics, shall we?
All right, so first off, we do have a topic about black versus black perceptions. Now, this is like a open topic based off of how, as a race of people, like how do we view each other? Because understandably, you know, we have we deal with a lot of racism and I messed up, but we deal with a lot of what can I say? Discrimination. Discrimination, yeah. We deal with a lot of discrimination and stereotypes as it is. Yeah, I was just talking like we deal with a lot of discrimination and stereotypes as it is, and not only just us, but just minorities in general. But it's as a race of people, how do we uplift each other? How do we change that to make it towards where not 100% of the time, but maybe 10% of the time that happens, and then so on.
All right, now I got an article where this Caucasian woman was speaking about how black women treat black men, but it's a little explicit for the viewers, so I'm just warning y'all now, and I'm gonna get y'all thoughts on it. All right. This lady said, "I'm so sick of hearing you black women talk about not needing a man, being both mommy and daddy to your kids, and how black men ain't nothing. Not one of you hoes are lying. You don't want a real man. You want some spineless, knuckle-dragging, uneducated, jobless drug dealer you can control because no real educated black man will put up with your crap. That's why us white queens are snatching up your men, leaving you whores crying. So they're capable in our hands. Don't worry your nappy bald heads about that." Now, what's your thoughts on that?
See, now, when it comes to stuff like that, see, like me personally, I feel like you can't generalize people because everybody don't think the same way. From black people to white people to Mexicans, no matter what race they are, what color they are, you can't generalize people because we all three of us can sit here now and we might have different opinions on something. But all three of us are black. You know, we might have different backgrounds, but we're all black. So you can't say that about everybody.
No, you're gonna go.
I'll go ahead. But it's like, you know what made me mad the most about that little post? Like, the black women who saw that got mad and took it as a ploy to just attack black men. Because I remember I talked to this one girl, and she said white women get a black man, they feel they're on top of the world. But they're just taking away the problem. They said, this girl said a lot of black men are lazy, not all of them. I'm like, you don't know that though. Like, you haven't even been out of state, let alone your own city, and you're generalizing billions of people in the world. So why would you say something like that? That's absolutely ridiculous to me. Because I told her, if you gonna make a statement like that, you gotta actually research every black person on the planet, not just here, Africa, Britain, wherever there's black people, for that stereotype. And if not, then you can't say it at all.
I feel like she's right and she's wrong. Because one, there's a lot of black men, like my dad, my brother, who don't like white women does not attract them. They don't. Right. It's not so. But then she is right because a lot of black women do act like they can't find a man. Black men are this, black men is that. But at the end of the day, it's them. It's not the man. It's them, or it's the man that they choose to mess with. So in the day, there's good black men always around, but I don't think she knows how to find them. But a black man kind of feel the same way. Like, black women are too hard to control. You know, they not control, but it's too hard. It's hard to deal with. They you know. So I understand what you're saying. I look at it a lot different, but she is wrong, extremely wrong. And white women do try to act like they do try to act stuck up when they get a black dude.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree with you 100% on that. I agree. I understand exactly what you're saying. Because to me, it kind of seems like if you, like, as, you know, putting the race thing aside for a second. Just say like, just a random man and a random woman. You know, everything always turns into like, oh, it's a man versus a woman thing instead of just it being a person thing.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
get what I'm saying? And it's worse. It's worse within our race for our black women to feel that way about the black men. You know, you can have black men that do the same thing, but just you know, to be exact, to be precise or accurate, in my personal opinion, I feel like that's how you turn a black woman against a black man.
Yeah,
That's how I feel. Yeah.
That's true though. Like one thing that this girl said that claimed that black men like to date white women because they can control them because black women are too strong minded and black men can't stand it. And I'm like, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
Because they act like we always had these problems when we didn't.
That's true.
At one point we was all together until a group of people came and screwed everything up.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had all this propaganda. Like it was a book called Black Macho and the Myth of Superwoman. This was written by a white woman to push hate black men propaganda,
Right.
which they do to this very day.
Right.
And look at how it's come now.
True.
That shit has become a culture for people.
I feel like black people, we are a culture, but we're also still shunned upon heavily too.
Right.
Because if you look at the media, there's not that many black national known TV show. Well, it's a lot of it's getting better now. But,
Right.
But white people, they want to be like us, but they also want to hate us as well.
Right.
So, but her saying that just doesn't make sense because there's a lot of good black women.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good black women, and there's a lot of bad black women. There's a lot of good black men, a lot of bad black men.
So we can just say like there's just good and bad in everybody.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's good and bad.
And
in
there's just a lot of
everybody.
good white, strong white women, and some black men may like white women because they can control them, but some don't. They may say, okay, I'm having problems with my girl. She acting stupid for no reason.
Right.
So I can find a white woman. She treat me better than what they treat me.
Right.
Which was not a right thing to think, because I think if you search hard enough, you can find a good black woman who treat you
That's
better.
true.
Exactly.
I don't have no problems with any type of race. If it's Asian, black,
There you go.
Indian, Native American, whatever.
Right.
You can
Russian, German.
There's always good into me in any race.
Right. And like, so they just specifically speaking within our race, because we have to culturally try to make a change.
Yeah.
What about when not just women but men and women say they have a bad relationship problem and they say, oh, okay, you know what, I dated too many black women, or I dated too many black men, so I'm just gonna go and date a white girl. I'm gonna go date a Chinese or a Mexican. That's teaching self-hate.
They don't even make that.
Like, because that one bad egg is not the whole carton of eggs. You know what I'm saying?
But also you got to think too. But black people as a whole, we stereotype our own black men.
Exactly.
Our own black people. A person like you who don't spend a lot of money.
Exactly.
A person who spend a lot of money may look at you like, okay, he a lame.
Exactly.
He a lame. He dress bummy.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you not dress bummy. You dress how you like to dress. You may like to spend your money on other things. Save your money up.
Mm-hmm.
Or they may look at clientele like, okay, he dark skinned. Oh, he doing something bad.
Yeah, like
violent or something like that, right?
And I'm glad you brought that up too, because I remember this one time that I was at work and I had a hoodie on and I was trying to get the trash, and I said hello to this customer and she acted like she was scared, and I'm like, and some idiot said something like, oh, cause you dark skinned, cause they probably felt you more threatening. I'm like, first off, skin had nothing to do with whether you're a threat or not.
Right.
If Kevin Hart came up to you like, give me your money, or chitty chitty bang bang, you gonna die.
Right.
You gonna sit there and laugh.
Right.
And he's a dark skinned person.
I'm gonna sit there and laugh regardless because it's funny, but still, that's like I said. They may think like any black. I'm not gonna be wrong. Any black man walking at night with a hoodie on, you gonna be a little skeptical about it.
True.
I think that
But
goes
not,
for any man.
but not every black person with a hoodie. You gonna think a black person more than white, but me, I look at everybody. If I'm walking down the street, bro,
because
at night, I'm looking at everybody, bro.
Yeah, that's a
Because
fact.
then ain't nobody can really
You know, I'm not trying to
That's a
not saying that I think you may do something. I'm just looking at unless I have to do. You know,
right.
but you know, end of the day, you know, they may see me. Oh, you a black person with dreads. You smoke weed. You know, it's not about that, bro. Black people got, you know, the dark skin and light skin. That's a thing that's never gonna be in for some stupid reason. I don't know why.
Is that came from, and then when I bring this up, everybody always wants to be like, oh man, get out of here with that. That was like 300, 400 years ago. And I'm like, if you actually studied it and researched this shit, then you will realize where this happened. Like the Willie Lynch letter, it said something about all that. Turn men against women, young against old, fair skin versus the dark skin. And this shit is happening to this day, and everybody still wants to say, oh, get out of here with that.
True.
Like, that shit is ridiculous.
Yeah, and glad you brought up the skin tone versus different skin tones, because actually, like, for example, you know, going through high school period, we've always had, you know, certain issues where people mention, oh, I'm light skinned, you dark skinned, and it's kind of like, so, but that's your skin tone, or what race or what ethnicity you claim in.
Right.
You know, so are you no longer a descendant of an African? Are you no longer a black person?
They may think.
So you're a new race, we call yourself light skinned.
Yeah,
You're a new
yeah.
race, call yourself dark skinned.
Just because you dark skin don't mean you about it.
Right.
That light skinned person, he may be about it. The dark skinned nigga not.
True.
Just because you grew up in the hood, that don't necessarily mean you a hood nigga.
Exactly.
That's real.
Just because you grew up in the suburbs don't mean you can't scrap or you haven't went through the same problems this person went through.
Exactly.
That's a
Because
fact.
So,
at the end of the day, as people,
at the end of the
we
day, we
all
still-
face the same struggles.
We still
every
face
single
problems
day.
or worse
Exactly.
or problems because that white person, that white person who grew up rich, his parents could be dead. They got alcohol problem. Person that grew up in the hood, like me, my dad was in jail for 5 years. But I don't look at that as a problem, nigga. I went on. I went to school there. You know, I go on my life, nigga.
That's a fact.
Hey, look
I'm not harping on it, nigga.
Just this metro Detroit area, period. Like it's been hard trying to grow up around here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it never clouded our thoughts. It never stopped us from doing what we was doing. And on top of that, it never clouded our judgment on how we look at the world. And we still see the world as something needs to change. Something has to change. It can no longer can be.
Being from
you know,
Detroit, I look at the news every day. There's stereotypes on Detroit that's not true.
all the time.
Exactly.
So
All the time.
you know, I think we all can go through that. I live in Detroit. Y'all from East.
Yeah,
which is a
We
suburb
go
of
off to
Detroit.
Detroit
But
sometimes.
which is just like Detroit almost.
Yep.
I'm just as bad as Detroit, but Detroit is not as bad as everybody try to make it. I'm saying like
It's not.
like when I was in Voltaire with white people, they act like Detroit was just horrible. Nigga. Detroit. Detroit's not.
And
It's like every other place. You have to be aware of your surroundings.
Right. A lot of times you can't stop crime at a you know, as a whole. You
Not
can't
one
stop
person
crime.
can stop crime.
Right.
Even Superman can't just outright stop
Right.
crime.
Exactly.
It's a lot of fucking
You can't stop crime.
too much fucking.
So with that being said, you can probably manage crime.
You
You can drop crimes right down.
Yeah, Superman can manage crime. He can put a good amount of them in jail, but at the end of the day, it's always gonna be somebody else that wants to go out and do bad.
Now I can admit, over the years, like we've heard and seen, you know, talked about a lot of crazy crimes that's happened over the last decade, and you know, even stuff when we were kids, you know, little kids. You know, we've seen it all. We've heard about it, and you know, which all of that is wrong. But a lot of crimes that are committed in the city of Detroit are, you know, or even in this area, are always connected somehow with more people. It's not always just some random thing.
That's a fact.
It's connected for the most part. But as far as we know, and things that make it on the news, it's not random. Most of the time, it's connected. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, and that goes back to the generalization thing.
Right.
You know, saying, well, they just going out here on a rampage, or you know, just wild. You know, just going out here, just you know, killing people on first sight, and that's not true.
Right.
Exactly.
You know.
Don't get me wrong. Some do be on some stupid junk, just doing stupid stuff. But that's because the people probably wasn't raised right.
Right.
But at the end of the day, bro, Detroit, like being from Detroit, being raised in Detroit most of my life, bro.
Right.
we don't. That's not gonna happen. It's very rare that you're just gonna walk down the street
You just kill someone.
and get shot.
Exactly.
Right.
Like that's
very true.
I walk out my door, I stretch, nigga. I get shot. It don't work that way.
Exactly.
Like-
Like, you know, and one thing is they like to throw up in our faces, you know, about certain decisions that we make, but it's like when it comes to them, you talking about, okay, so what about the you know, the 6 liquor stores we have within a 1 mile radius
That's
in
true.
the same area, or the fact that you're gonna patrol, you know, your cops around here, your police through the city around here when you
What I don't
want
get-
to, but then when something goes down, they never nowhere to be found.
What I don't get is how
You know.
white people try to make like black people is more violent, but y'all have been proven to be
More
a
violent.
lot more crazier
Throughout history.
than what we are. Y'all will go into school and shoot. Black people is not shooting up a whole school. We don't do that. We're not about to go and shoot up a whole school. If we want somebody, we gonna shoot him. That's it. We're not gonna go in the whole school shoot it up. Well, we don't. White people are a lot more crazier. I don't want to say crazy. Not all white people. Obviously.
Right,
It's not all white
we can never just say
But-
all people because we
but
don't
you
know
know,
for sure.
Not all white people, you know, but it has been shown that you know white people do a lot more crazy things than what people.
Well, and what people gotta realize is white people in general take up over half the population on this
Yeah.
earth. Period.
They do.
So I don't understand how, as smaller races of people, population of people, how do we do more than what they do?
Right.
You know, and you know, and since white people want to be the politicians, they want to be all these public TV figures and media, you know, reporters and you know all that type of
What's
stuff.
not?
It's like,
Okay, so y'all want to take all of that, y'all want to do all of that, but at the same time, y'all don't want to take the judgment and the you know the slurs that we throw back at y'all
But
and,
look-
and call y'all on y'all BS, basically.
But look at this though. When a black person is broke or middle class, we still are able to. When a white person is broke, where do they live? They live. A broke white person is worse than a black. They live worse than we do.
Right, and again, this is not us just
Not-
ranting and hating
nah,
on white people or
nah,
any
nah.
other race because we just speaking facts and truth on how we perceive things and how can we change it for our minority groups, basically.
Like an Eminem, you know, he grew up in a trailer park. He was broke. He has the same right to talk about his struggles than let's say like a Chief Keef.
Mm-hmm.
They both grew up hard. They both went through problems.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
That's true.
I ain't
I respect that. I respect that.
And then the fact that people who actually want to complain about the crime rate in Detroit, Exeter, whatever, but the fact that almost all the schools are shut down,
Exactly.
it's like, where else are these kids gonna go?
Don't go, right?
So there's liquor stores here, but not one school
That's
open,
true.
and you mean to tell me y'all still gonna complain? Like, if it was a big deal, people would be able to do something about it. But
I
nothing's
got
been done.
I got out of Detroit public schools in the 6th grade. So I have not been in Detroit schools since 6th grade. Now, granted, there are a couple of schools open, but my grandmother wanted me to have a better education.
Right.
Well, and by that time, you know, there's not that many high schools open in Detroit. It's not, or it's far.
Yeah, it's
You
true.
know, or it's far, or you got cash, you got Renaissance, you got Rum, you know, but you know, it's not a lot of high schools open in Detroit.
Right. So now we switched over to like a more of an educational type of topic. You know, when it comes to education, now to be honest, I know that this probably isn't gonna change, but like when it comes to like private schools, now when it comes to private schools, I feel like okay, education. When you talk about public schools versus private schools, that means that there's a kid out there who needs to go to school, won't be able to go to that private school and get a good education. So why not just merge the system that y'all run for private schools into public schools so ensure that everybody gets the same type of level of teaching?
I
You know what I'm saying?
repeat this though. What people don't know is, like, people claim that America is a meritocracy, which means that the harder you work, the more you'll have, which is a lie.
Not true.
See, it's a scribe versus a chief status. A scribe is basically what you're born with. A chief status is what you work to get.
Right.
And they don't know that your scribe status can stop you from going further. It can deny you access to certain things. It's like, and you probably already know who's at the top of the scribe status in America, and
Of course,
who's
right now,
at the bottom.
We ain't even gotta say it.
Like, and as far as the education, like even like in the areas where we're from, people don't understand that it's not things ain't like that by accident. It's like that pretty much by design. Like it's a reason why we're learning algebra in 9th grade, and people in private schools is learning 401ks and mortgages. If you rich, it's meant to keep you rich.
True.
If you
That's
a
true.
working class, it's just meant to keep you working.
Even George Bush said he's cut out. If you're middle class, he cut it out. He said you either rich or you poor.
It's, there you go. Because
Which makes no sense.
Because people who's middle class, they survive.
Work hard
they make it
for
by.
they work hard for their-
right. They
what
make
they
it
get.
right. They make it by because they put in the work to do what they do. Now, with that being said, that means that they don't try to go
They're not
above like
rich at all. They're not rich at all.
They're not rich at all, but
They still got their
they can
struggles.
maintain what they have,
Yeah.
which means that they don't go above and beyond and try to get this new car, this
And the
new
middle
mansion,
class
you know
is
what I'm saying?
what is the
All
middle
these-
class mostly? What makes you the middle class?
Right.
Black people.
Exactly.
Mostly make up the middle class, and he don't want us to have. Not saying that all black people are middle class, and not all white people, and it's not a lot of white people in the middle class. It is a lot of white people in the middle class, but it's a lot more. I don't want to say rich, but you know, black people, we're middle class. You know,
That's
we're
true.
a lot of us are
That's
middle,
true.
are middle class. You know,
Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of viewers out there, and even we can speak for ourselves and say that we put in time to put in work for a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and it's like somebody can, a student from overseas can come over here and get an internship somewhere, and versus us putting in already putting the work in versus us being here. And somebody overseas could just come over here and take that job or take that opportunity before me or you could.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I
actually,
just
no, that's not really true because Trump don't want no what's name to come in. We not gonna have to worry about that.
well,
Like,
in all fairness, everything that he gets is overseas. So
That's true.
Hey, that's
That's
a
true.
fact.
That's true.
So,
He trying to everything Obama did that's good or bad. He overturning it, bro. He don't want overturning it, bro. Don't matter if it's good or not.
and I can't really, like, to be honest, I understand that Barack Obama probably wasn't the best president in most people's eyes. You know, I can't really say he's my favorite president because, to be honest, I don't really believe in politics. You know what I'm saying? I don't really put my faith in politicians.
I'm not a big politics, but I try to know what's going
Right.
on.
No, you're trying to know what's
I
going
try
on.
to know-
Exactly.
to know what's
You can
going
use
on,
that as a
but
platitude.
Don't get me wrong. Barack Obama, he did a lot with what he was given.
Right.
That's how I look at it. They were not trying to let him do anything.
Right.
He was able to do a lot with what he was given.
But I can definitely
He
honestly
definitely was not the greatest president,
Right.
but he is one of the best presidents.
Right.
it's like one.
That's how I look at it.
It's like one thing I'll say is, it's like, cause I'm not really big on politics either. Cause regardless of how much people talk about, you know, this happened in the news and all that, I always look at it as somebody is pulling the strings, no matter who it is.
Right.
And as we look at the things around us, whether it was even since we was children, like Clinton, Bush, Obama, and the Trump now, I look at things like what has really changed for us? Nothing. Like our cities is probably gonna get bought out by somebody else because it's getting too bad.
Right.
When you have the money to fix
Yeah.
everything,
True.
but you're not gonna do it because you don't care about us anyway.
Now, don't get Bill Clinton. He was a great. His presidency was good. He was a great president. A lot of his personal stuff got in the way. But if you do get as a president, why does that matter? If he, you know, but George W. Bush was a horrible president.
Yeah.
Horrible president.
And I'm
He messed it up for Obama to come in and do.
Hey.
He couldn't do nothing.
exactly.
He couldn't fix nothing.
Because
Like-
here's my thing. Isn't it always supposed to be about doing the right thing?
Yeah.
And trying to make everything better for
Yeah,
people, trying to make life
that's what
better
I'm
for
saying
people,
too.
trying to
I
get
get
along,
that.
trying to do this, but yet and still we face conflictions like every single day. But it's like you push a propaganda of world peace, but yet and still you pushing conflict too at the same time.
Right.
And it's like by you saying, hey, you got $5, this costs $7. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you ain't got it.
It's
can't,
crazy
you don't
because
starve or something like that, basically.
America all trying to say, oh, we're not racist, we're for everybody. But you have a president now that's openly racist.
Exactly.
Openly racist against Mexicans, against black people. It don't matter. He's openly racist. But y'all voted for this man, or y'all didn't vote, which is as worse as not voting. But you know, but you voted for this man. But once he get in, oh no. He's not supposed to be in. We don't want him in.
Exactly. And I didn't talk about like saying stuff like
You
like,
voted for him.
you know, just to take a lesson back in history, you know, they talk about like, you know, oh, Republicans back then used to be the ones who, you know, fought for this, they did that. And then it's like, now they say, oh, but the role is reversed now. Now it's Democrats who's doing this and doing that. And I can say, okay, in the public side, yes. But in truth, it's always a plan behind something that they've done in history.
Exactly.
Like, that stuff is just to distract us from what's really going on. Like you know, you can, I mean, if you want to really do the research, I would advise doing the research on it, but the reason why they did that was because they wanted to put their trust into somebody else, and a lot of reasons why slavery was, you know, abolished was because of capitalism.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Capitalism was the key to a lot of stuff back then, and they fell through with their plans or what they tried to plan
That's true.
back then to what's going on today. And the reason why we're not in chains now is because of money. It's always
That's true.
money.
Extremely true.
Money.
Yeah, sure,
It's
but
extremely
we're
true.
we're gonna get. Oh yeah, we're gonna do another show about that. We're gonna get to that later. But I wanted to jump back to the black versus black perception, and talk about like the young versus old.
Young versus old.
See, my problem is people always say like, oh, like these young boys or girls are doomed. But I'm like, what are you doing to try to help?
That's what I say too.
Like my theory is, if you down talk all these young people say like, oh, you ain't gonna be nothing, blah 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 blah.
That's gonna make them think they're not nothing.
Yep.
And that they're not gonna want to come to you and ask for help.
Yep. Or like when things get bad and you look for them to help you, they gonna be like, wait a minute, ain't you the dude who said me I wasn't nothing there? Get out my face.
That's how my thing is this about a lot of old like black people. It happens a lot in the music now.
Yeah.
Old heads are coming stuff here, hip hop heads. They're saying, oh, I don't like Lil Uzi. Oh, I don't like Lil Yachty. But hip hop is doing. I don't expect the same thing from a Uzi that I expect from a like a Kanye or
Sure.
Kendrick. You know,
Right.
it's about. It's not about. Nah, I don't like Yachty. I don't like the. You know, I do like Uzi. You know, but
Okay.
I don't expect the same thing that I do from Kendrick. When I listen to Kendrick, I expect bars. I expect bars from Kendrick.
That's true.
When I listen to Uzi, I expect a good song. I don't really expect
Like a party song.
too many bars from Uzi. But I feel like if you're just saying like when rap first came out, old heads were saying, oh, this music trash. Turn that shit off. Turn this off.
Right.
So you basically going to do the same thing the old heads was doing. They didn't think hip hop was gonna survive,
That's true.
but it has.
That's true. You're
It
right.
has survived. So and hip hop is not really for old people.
It's not.
If you think about
It's
it,
not.
it's for
before their time.
you
know,
all
it's-
can.
I mean, it's after their time.
Every-
Every say, you know.
Everybody can enjoy it. It's for everybody to enjoy.
Right.
But it's always gonna be a younger core of people that come in. So
Right.
you can't really.
Right. It's like a new generation.
It constantly changes.
Yes,
So
yeah.
for old heads to say, oh, I don't like Lil Uzi. I don't like. But don't shit on them, bro.
Yeah.
Let them do their thing. Let them get like I don't like y'all. But he doing his thing. He got a fan base. Hey, that's good for him.
That's true.
Hip hop is advancing. It's more popular than it's ever been.
It's like
I like to see that.
It's like, here's how I look at it. All right, now I don't condone some songs that promote the use of drugs and stuff like that. Like how Future talked about sipping lean, and he admitted that he doesn't really do it himself.
No. He said he do lean, but they say he's not really a drug addict. How you know he make it all the same.
Like,
But yeah, I feel what you're saying.
it's like, I just think it's different music for different moods.
It is. I would admit that rap has become more about I'm on drugs than I sell drugs. You know, you feel what I'm saying?
True.
It's more about which either one is not really to be good.
Yeah.
But it's rap. Rap has never. Well, rap had you do got your political people.
One thing about
Stay
rap,
true.
like one thing about music is meaning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially black
it all
music.
means something.
It's for everybody. It's for everybody.
Right.
You know, a crackhead may listen to. Oh, he on lean. I'm on lean too, nigga.
Right.
a drug free nigga, but oh, he on lean. No, I don't want to hear that. You may listen to like Chance. You may listen to like you may listen to somebody like Chance the Rapper or somebody who clean. But like, oh, I like him, bro. He spin down reels. He spin the bars, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
That's true. Hey, that's true though.
Different strokes for everybody, bro. You
can't.
You can't hate on it just because it's a law.
Yeah, and I think that it's like the hip hop industry, like the rap industry in general. I feel like it's just like an industry to just control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like, you know, these people don't trust these people here. Then it's like here it's like oh you working for the white man here, and then it's like instead of y'all just grouping up and be like, you know what? Why don't we get away from this and just do our own thing and build our own platform?
Right.
But look at this.
Not make money for these people up here in the suits. You know what I'm saying?
But look at this though. There's a lot more. Like we expect a lot more from a white rapper than we do from a black rapper.
That's true.
A white rapper, we don't want to hear you when you trash. You gotta have bars.
Yeah,
a black rapper, you can be trash. That's all right. You black. You know.
That's true.
This is our culture. You can do that. You can make party song. White rapper, no, we don't want to hear you make a party song, bro. We don't want to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Because wouldn't you think that if you was to bury somebody in like a beef or something like that, bury somebody, wouldn't you think a lot of fans would turn off from that person, which means that person probably won't make as much money anymore? So isn't that, you know?
Kind of happens.
Yeah, it kind of happens. You know, it kind of
happens a little bit.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, although it's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? We of course we want to say, oh, who's the baddest, you know, out there, you know, who's gonna go out there and spit the bars, you know what I'm saying, who's gonna, you know, outsell, who's gonna outdo, who's gonna out-rap. We want to see that. But at the same time, if you stop somebody from making that money, that's almost like you having two black businesses across the street from each other, but you like, all right, now let's go see who's gonna sell the most this week. And then if I outsell you, you gotta shut your shop down. You know
I got a question for you. Now, would you say, it's like between black people, being in competition, that's what's destroying people the most right now?
That's part of it.
It is.
That's part of it.
Yeah, it is.
That's the
they
big
always
part.
want
That's
to. Black people always want to be in competition with black people. Mm-hmm. If I get the new J's, he makes sure he get the new J's.
He get the ones above. He get the
I cop a Benz. Oh, you got a Benz, nigga. I got a Bugatti, nigga.
And right, and that goes back to that black versus black perception. You know, perception saying that me personally, I've never looked at another person and was like, yeah, okay, he got that, I gotta have that. Then.
Right. Like, see, like, even like when you brought up Meek Mill and Trick Daddy not Trick Daddy, but
that ain't Trick Daddy, so stupid.
Trick, but Trick, and how he got mad pretty much by saying like, oh, you said, oh, you're the reason why we started wearing this. No, doesn't nobody start nothing.
No, you had it right. You had it right first.
Oh, it's like to me that's ridiculous because all right, you bragging about
you too old for that.
It's exactly like you talking about who wears what. None of y'all own none of this clothing line, and you still fighting over it. Right. They say, oh, you're banned from here. You can't come here. But it's corrupt cops who actually killed and beat black people, but you don't say nothing about them. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if you listen to what Meek Mill said, he didn't say he started it for them. He didn't say he was the first person to ever do it in Miami. He said he started it for like the last 5 years. If you look at rappers on yachts, there is a lot of rappers filming videos on yachts now.
Mm-hmm.
Over the last 5 years, Meek Mill did not start that. We know Miami is known for having yachts and all that. We know that.
Right.
Even though it
didn't say that.
Yep. Even though
it's a part of the Miami culture down
there. Yeah, we know that. He just saying he brought it back for the newer generation.
Right.
It was just stupid to me. You too old to be going on social media talking about nigga. Your passport expired, nigga. Your visa expired, nigga. Yeah, you too old for that, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I couldn't have said it any better than that.
Shit was stupid,
I couldn't say it any better than that.
Stupid, bro.
All right, we're gonna take a brief intermission, and we'll be back with our final thought. Brief
intermission. That shit was so stupid, bro. I swear.
During this intermission, always try to spread the peace and love too. By the way.
Oh, that bad guy is on his first bottle.
I think it's going to do this all. Final thought. say our piece and all that. We good, 'cause we mentioned educational system. Like, what we're gonna do is, we gonna, and we gonna go big track. I'm gonna let y'all go, talk under, and then, y'all go, and alright? Alright, you want, so we're gonna go first. Alright, I'll go first. Alright, we're back with our final thought. Alright, you go first.
All right, so for final thoughts, what I do have to say is back to our talking about our educational systems and things out here, especially like in Michigan, particularly because we live here. But it's like a couple years or so ago when they closed down Inkster schools, you know, like Inkster High to be exact, because it's probably like one of the only Inkster schools we really had. Because the rest of our schools is like in Dearborn Heights and stuff like that. Yeah, so
still considered to be.
yeah, right. Because it's like that borderline. Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. But when they close it down, I'm like, okay. So now you're forcing kids
That don't like Robichaud.
that don't want to go all the way out of their own city to go to another school.
Chose to go, or some people that came from our middle school but
Right.
wanted to get away from something.
Right now,
Start
you
over.
putting them in a hard
Putting them back
situation
in.
because now they have to scramble and look around and say, hey, do I really want to go to school now because they closed it down? So it must not be that important, right?
Right.
So instead of trying to fund the schools and actually be like, okay, well, we got to understand that this is like the biggest high school, the biggest school they have in Inkster. Let's try to keep it, and then let's try to build around it if we can. Because now, you know, like for example, in Detroit, you know, public black activist named Dr. Umar Johnson, he came out to Detroit and he gave his little speech, you know, and everything. And he was talking to a lot of like black families in particular, you know what I'm saying? And he was talking about how they system out there is meant to belittle black kids, you know, and you know they use like, you know, like they said like a perception of like white female teachers, you know, how they look at if you know if they don't resemble their kids, they're not going to do what they do to ensure that
Right.
you know they have a successful future basically.
Right.
And you know, and he was, I feel like he was right about that. You know, I can agree with it because I say like, you know, he's offered to even say, hey, we're gonna try to buy up these black schools and try to turn them into something they haven't been before. So if somebody was coming to your city to be like, let's fix the educational system, let's do it. You're gonna deny that. You're gonna deny that. So basically, education doesn't matter anymore.
Right. That's true.
But you're gonna fix all the casinos y'all got out there. You're gonna fix all the casinos. You know, you want to try to rebuild stadiums for your baseballs and football, and you want to move the team here and there.
Didn't happen.
Right. But it's like, you know what I'm saying, which is, I'm not saying it's just a problem with it, but at the same time, it's like, we got to look at what's important
It's not
first.
the biggest priority.
Right. It's not a priority. It's not.
Right.
Like,
Alright. And even with education becoming smaller, what we have to do is we have to organize. Because as we all know, if a big emergency happened, none of us will be ready. Because we all too scrambled fighting over stupid stuff. Like, we have to organize, we have to get a plan together to actually be like, alright, this happened, so we can do this.
right.
Like, stop worrying about money, all this other irrelevant crap that don't matter, and be like, alright, we gotta fix this stuff. Cause when they kill the dollar, you know what's only gonna matter? Reserves, gold, and natural resources.
There you go.
And as black people, we don't have any of that. So all we're gonna have is each other.
Exactly.
So we need to keep those people around who are actually gonna help, and also keep people around you that are gonna pull you out of that dark place instead of pulling you deeper in, because that seems like it's a problem right now with black people.
Right.
Oh, this breakup happened. Oh, act heartless.
Mm-hmm.
And when you only damaging yourself,
Exactly.
we gotta get our stuff. We gotta get our stuff together,
Because
man.
because 10 times out of 10, if it happens to them, it could happen to you.
I feel
Yeah.
like people in Detroit, except I live in Detroit. Like Detroit, they need Detroit they need to set goals, positive goals, instead of setting goals that's non-positive and they know it's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in Detroit either want us to be the plug, a drug dealer, a robber, or they want to hoop, they want to go to the NBA, they want to go to the NFL, but you gotta realize, for one thing, being a drug dealer, a stick up nigga, and kick up niggas, that's not gonna get you anywhere but killed. And going to the NFL or the NBA, that is a very slim chance.
It's a very slim chance.
Right.
Very slim chance.
You have to be one of you. They need to try to be like go to college, nigga. You go to college, do something, get a trade,
Right.
do something, have positive goals.
Even so, just say even so, you know what I'm saying? Nobody knocking nobody's success if you get accepted to the NBA or NFL, then that's good. You know, that's real good. But at the end of the day, if you see yourself going there and then you know how they treat a lot of the athletes, which are predominantly black athletes.
I got a cousin.
How would you take that?
I had a cousin who went to Michigan. He got drafted, but they chose the other dude over him. Even on my cousin's stats and all that was better.
Right.
So it's it's not gonna get, even if you do get drafted and you do make you don't never know what could happen. You can get hurt, you can get injured. So what you have to have a goal for school or something, bro.
That's true.
You have to have positive goals. Everybody in Detroit is so it's just
Or even a set plan to to better yourself over time. You know what I'm saying? Because as a young person, you're gonna make some crazy choices and decisions. We all young and we ain't perfect, but I mean, maturity comes with the aging. You know what I'm saying? Like the older you get, the more you should try to mature and better yourself to make sure that you, your family, friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever the case may be, is set. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. You gotta have a system around us, but going back to like a black versus black perception, we can't do that if we always attacking each other,
Exactly.
trying to make each other feel like we less than what we
I was
really
just
are.
about to say, nobody in Detroit is trying to help one another, bro. You know, it's irritating because they don't want to see another person do better than what they do. Which is stupid because we all live in the same city. We all should want to see everybody do good.
Right.
Exactly. All right, that's your final thought.
That's my final thoughts.
All right, and also I'm gonna be shooting another video with another one of the cast members this Friday. We have an announcement about some merchandise that's gonna be coming soon. But until then, stay strong, listen to our truths, but don't take them out of context. Peace and love.